So the topic is fluid flow. And the first thing that we need to understand is what is a fluid. By definition, a fluid is just a substance that can move. And which are these substances that can move? E.g., we have liquids, we have gases. These are fluids that can move. Liquids and gases. In terms of liquids, we have water, oil, milk, among others. Gases, we have air and other gases that you actually know. You can put in the comment section below. Now we have known a fluid. So let's go through and define what is a fluid flow. It's actually mass movement of a fluid from one place to another. Actually, is a mass movement of a fluid from one place to another. That's what we call fluid flow. Now, what do we consider when we study the fluid flow? So, number one, the assumptions that we make is that the fluid that we are studying is non-viscous. It has a less or no resistance. And then number two, that the liquid is incompressible. The liquid is incompressible. So those are the two assumptions that we make when we study the factors affecting a fluid flow. What are factors that can affect the flow of a liquid? Factors affecting fluid flow. One, we have pressure. A fluid moves from where there is high pressure to where there is low pressure. Number two, velocity. Velocity of the fluid. A fluid with high velocity will have low pressure, and that with low velocity will have high pressure. And then number three, we have area of pipe or tube being used. So wider tubes or pipes will have wider pipes have low velocity. And narrow pipes have high velocity. And vice versa. So these are the three factors that affect a fluid flow. We have pressure, velocity of the fluid, and also the area of the pipe being used to transfer that liquid from one place to another. Types of fluid flow. We only have two types of fluid flow. One is steady flow or streamline flow. This one, the flow is smooth and orderly. All particles are facing in the same direction and they have same velocity. Special case of this is called laminar flow. This is where we have layers of the fluid flowing. So we can have particles in the same layer have same velocity. So if we have different layers of the fluid and the fluid is flowing uniformly, then we call that a laminar flow. Type 2, turbulent flow. This is where the flow is disorderly and very rough. It has what we call eddies. Eddies is where the particles moving are not facing in the same direction, and also the velocity is not the same. For example, if you take a streamline flow or a laminar flow, the flow, then you put an object in the way of that flow, this water will be coming like this, then it goes. So we have a point where it is going this way, and then others are going this way. So at this point, eddies are formed. So is a recap of what we did. Fluid flow is mass movement of a fluid from one place to another. And we said a fluid is just a substance that can move from one point to another. We gave example of fluids as liquids and gases, where we have water, oil, honey, and air. Those are some of the examples you can think of. The others. Then we also discussed about the factors affecting fluid flow. When the fluid is flowing, what can make it have different disparities in its flow? So one is pressure. We said fluids always move from a place with higher pressure to that of low pressure. And then number two, we have the velocity of the fluid. A fluid with a high velocity will tend to have low pressure, and that with a low velocity will have a high pressure. And then number three, it is area of the pipe or the tube being used to transfer that liquid. So if you want it to go very fast, then you use a narrow tube. But if you want it to go very slowly, then you will use a wider pipe. Then types of fluid flow, we say we have two. We have number one, a steady flow, which is also called streamline flow. This is where the flow of the fluid is smooth and orderly. All particles facing the same direction and same velocity. So a special case when we have different layers of the liquid, maybe in an ocean where there is a bulk volume of water, so maybe the bottom layer and the upper layer. So there, and if it is flowing smoothly, then we will call it a laminar flow. Here, only velocity varies with layers. So the upper layer will have different velocity as compared to the lower layer, but all the liquid will be moving in the same direction. Then number type 2, we have turbulent flow, and this is where the flow is disorderly. Disorderly in a sense that the particles are not moving in the same direction. You'll find others going in the opposite direction, and the velocity also is not the same across the particles. So this exhibits when you put an object in streamline flow. So when an object is on a steady flow, inside a way of a steady flow, then you will form a turbulent flow, and it will result into eddies. Eddies, we say there is that phenomena where the particles at that particular point are not facing in the same direction. Others are facing in the direction where they are coming from. So